My name's Dave, and I had bad breakups before, and been through different kinds of relations, but this was one that would top my whole experience. I know this sounds boring at first, but it will get a lot more interesting. I promise. I met Kim at this one friend's get-together party thing. We got along really, really well. My dark, stupid humor matched hers, and that whole night we stuck together and exchanged phone numbers at the end of it all. It didn't take long for us to text one another, and from that, I knew I was destined to be with this amazing girl who matched my energy. Stupid, corny jokes, same taste in music, food. It was something that was just meant to be. We dated for 8 months, and going into the 9th, it started to get a little rocky. We agreed on most things, but for some stupid reason, we started butting heads. Every day, it just felt like we were drifting apart, and by the 10th, we finally broke it off. I was in pieces from it, and I could tell she was also. I ignored her calls for maybe a few weeks, and I just wanted to move on. I was mature enough to just try and get myself together. Eventually, the calls stopped, and I sheltered myself under my apartment and focused on work. It was a tough one for me, and thankfully I started to let go of Kim. One night, I was at home making myself dinner, and I just so happened to glance out the window, and there was Kim across the street, standing with her hand over another. I looked and turned away, no matter how hard it was not to. This started to be a frequent occurrence around the same time every night, and honestly, I wanted to run out there and just hug and hold her tightly, tell her how much I miss her, and wanted to give us another chance. But this was what was best for both of us. One night when I returned home from the bar, I looked at the time and was hoping to catch Kim on one of her stakeouts. I was a bit drunk and wanted to just pour my heart out. I waited and waited. Even as it rained, I still waited. But at that point, it started to get close to midnight. I decided to walk to her apartment, which was just a 15-minute distance from my place, which I didn't mind walking. During the walk, I planned out what I would say, rehearsed word for word, and was beginning to feel a joy of just seeing her again, holding her and smelling that strawberry smell in her hair. When I arrived at the apartment, I could see that her light was on, and I was in luck. I felt so alive, and just felt right to be back with her, 'cause she was everything I've always wanted. And I knew she felt the same way as me. I stood at her door, a complete nervous wreck, fixing up my collar, still tipsy from my trip at the bar, slicked my wet, rained-on hair, and I knocked. The loud heart pulse in my ear was louder than my nervous breathing. I knocked once more, and that's when her roommate, Cassidy, opened the door slowly. "Hi, yeah, is Kim around?" Cassidy closed the door and unlocked the chain and opened it once more. "Hasn't anyone told you? Oh my god. I'm sorry, Dave, but someone should have told you. Kim was in an accident a few weeks ago. She was hit by a car when riding her bike home from work. She died right then and there. I'm so sorry." Her eyes filled with tears as I stood in the hallway, shaken up, broken all over again. I had no words or actions I could do to shake this grief of shock. And that's when it hit me. She started showing up outside my apartment right around the time she had the accident. At that moment, my grief turned to I don't know how to explain it. I always thought the expression blood turning cold was just a thing, but that's what really happened. It's been almost a year since this happened, and once in a while I catch a glance outside my window, and at times it feels like she's still there, looking up at my window. But I can't bear to look down, 'cause what if she's still out there looking up at me? As much as I miss her and loved Kim, I just can't look out the window around that certain time of night. My stalker. The end.